Afternoon, folks. What brings Davy to your screens this afternoon? Although we're only just in the afternoon, but we'll get to that in a wee second. I need to edit Facebook. Okay, Sunday truck Davy out the truck and at home in his office in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire, where it's clearing up. 14 degrees, no bad for this time of year. Hi Thomas, hi Charlotte. So, what brings Davy to your screens today? Broad Shoulders, part 3. I think it is it part 4? Anyway, North Lanarkshire Council, Red and Blue Tory Coalition, have caved to people power and will now keep our 39 sports, leisures and library facilities and community halls open. Now, in a statement, Red Tory Brit Nat Flag Shagger Jim Logue, said that the facilities will be safe for the duration of this particular council. He then went on to complain that the Scottish Government haven't funded them properly. Bollocks. I've had a look. All the councils year on year have had increased funding. Mismanagement of North Lanarkshire Council has got nothing to do with central government. There it is. It's got to do with mismanagement of sports facilities, like no keeping them open for long enough time for people to use them. No taking lets at community centres so that people can use the facilities that are in their area. Sparking council tax money up against the wall on jamborees. For example, why is it that Motherwell Theatre at the Civic Centre had to shut? Oh, of course, that's RAC. The reason why the centre shut is bad council management of public buildings. RAC isn't a problem if you maintain the building properly. If you maintain the building properly, you don't get water ingress. So you don't get weak RAC. North Lanarkshire drags in plenty of money from its housing stock, which is still basically council owned, from its council tax and from central government. What North Lanarkshire has is a management problem, and that management problem is red and blue bloody Brit Nat Tories, who have been running it like a fiefdom for the last 50, 60 years. That's why they came into coalition with each other to keep the SNP out, because the SNP don't look at the books. The short period of time the SNP were in charge of North Lanarkshire Council didn't give them time to get into anything. And that's why we get a cooked up scandal about this young fella who was council leader for the SNP, who got drunk at 19 and propositioned a lassie who didn't take it kindly, apologised the next day, story over. But no. The red and blue Tories, who at higher levels in politics are notorious, and even at this level of politics, are notorious for sexual deviance. Like, let's look at the case of the Labour councillor in Fife, who's been diddling me lassies. The young boy who was a council leader doing that road in North Lanarkshire, all he did was get drunk at 19 and proposition somebody. Who's not get drunk at 19, whether he be male or female, and proposition somebody? We all have. But SNP and independents weren't in charge long enough to get into the mismanagement of North Lanarkshire Council. But people power will do that. People power will do that. We will find out what's happening with North Lanarkshire and its funding. What we do know is that year on year, council budgets in Scotland have risen. And it's only in the last couple of years where things have got difficult. With the pandemic, then with the cost of living crisis and rampant inflation, that's what's draining any council's funds. The cost of keeping facilities open, electricity, heating, that sort of thing. But the mismanagement of that council. Now, why do we know it's mismanagement? Because they could rescind this decision and say, oh no, we've got enough money to keep these facilities open. So the question is, what were they going to do with the money they were saving for these facilities and batting people on the brow? Was it political? Of course it was political. They get to say, look at all these layoffs and the Scottish Government's fault. It's not. The other thing Jim Loeb, the lying red Tory, Brit Nat flagshagger didn't say was that his imperial masters in Westminster, who are 13 years of austerity, have cut Scottish Government funding in real terms. But kudos to the people of North Lanarkshire. The local authorities thought they could take the piss. Well, they just far out the canny. We'll be keeping an eye on you, North Lanarkshire, red and blue Tory Brit Nat flag shagging councillors. For here on forward. Very close eye on yous. And if we find even anything that looks a wee bit dodgy, we're going to do what the Brit Nats do as the SNP government. We're going to send in the cops. This was a political stunt. There's plenty of money for these facilities because they could change their mind like that. It was a political stunt. And for that, North Lanarkshire Council, and you, Jim Loeb, you red Tory flag shagger, we're going to keep an eye on you. Well done to the people of North Lanarkshire. The petitions, the pressure, the phone calls, the emails, it worked. The red and blue Tory Brit Nats are running scared of the people of North Lanarkshire now, and that's the way we need to keep it. The buggers thought they could do what they want with impunity. They thought the people of North Lanarkshire weren't paying attention, too busy trying to heat their houses, keep their wains fed, working their fingers to the bone. Well, we're not too busy to keep an eye on you buggers, and we're gone. So keep that in mind, red and blue Tory coalition in North Lanarkshire. We've got our eyes on you, and we're keeping them on you now. We'll be watching what you do. You see, that's what brings me here. This is the end of this chapter. But there's still no broad shoulders to this union. One in four children in England go to bed hungry. 1 in 5 here in Scotland. The reason why it's less here in Scotland is because the Scottish Government mitigates what's going on with the red and blue Tories down that road. And remember, when I say red Tories, Starmer's not going to rescue the NHS. He's not going to scrap the 2-child cap. He's going to keep the bedroom tax, the rate clause. He's not going to put extra funding into schools. The red Tory. But we're watching you, North Lanarkshire Council. And the real reason why the Scottish Government we can't give you everything you want, because of the way the devolution settlement's set up. There's a fixed budget comes from Westminster, and they're slashing that. That is your imperial masters, Jim Loeb, your red Tory flag-shagging Brit Nat spanner. We'll be keeping an eye on yous. They say, well done to people in North Lanarkshire. People right round Scotland, get this into your head. You have the power. The people of North Lanarkshire have just proved it. So if your council's playing up, go get a grip of them the way we have. Sort it out. You see, that's the end of this particular session of the broad shoulders that don't exist. Have a nice day.